Welcome to Multiple Choice Question 15 of the 2003 Mathematical Methods Exam 1. In this video we will be looking at the solution for this question. A reminder that this video is in no way endorsed by VCAA. And now before we move on, I'd just like to point out that the use of the CAS calculator is not appropriate for this question, as there is no way to input the given information into the calculator. However, you may find it useful to have an example like this in your notebook. So for question 15 we have let g be a continuous function on the interval 0 to 5 and f a function such that f dash, the derivative of f, is equal to g for all x is an element of 0 to 5. So then we're asked that the integral from 0 to 5 of g of x dx is equal to one of the following. So let's have a look at that integral. We have the integral from 0 to 5 of g of x dx. And we know that g of x is simply equal to f dashed of x. So let's make that change in our integral. So we're going to now have the integral from 0 to 5. And instead of g of x, let's replace it with what we know it's equal to. So the integral from 0 to 5 of f dashed of x dx is equivalent. And now we can work with this instead of the first original integral we were given. So to evaluate an integral, we know that we can calculate an antiderivative and evaluate it between the terminals of 0 and 5. And the antiderivative of f dashed of x symbolically is simply f of x. And then to evaluate that, our fundamental theorem of integral calculus says we take the antiderivative, f of x in this case, and evaluate it with the upper limit, and then we subtract away from that the antiderivative f with the lower terminal substituted into it, which was 0. So therefore, the integral from 0 to 5 of g of x dx is equivalent to f of 5 subtract f of 0. So that means that E is the correct answer for this question. So from the examiner's report, we can see that only 58% of students got this question correct, so it wasn't overly well answered in that exam.